Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Is Mecca, just Mecca. We got the SpinnerRack today. This show is about appreciating comics. Our mission here is to talk about comics and just comics.
Good morning. Is
No,
oh
Mecca,
my goodness.
Mecca. Someone's echoing.
I think it's Go.
It's not me.
Ebony.
No, I thought I had it muted. It was muted a little while ago. I just closed it.
You should be good.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, the goal of this stream is to see if we can talk about just comics, avoid all drama, and just share our appreciation for things in this medium we all claim to love so much. And today we're doing a themed episode. We're going to be talking about women of comics, and of course I have pulled up here one of my favorite women in comics, Mary Jane in The Amazing Spider-Man 601. It's a legendary cover. It's one of the best looking Mary Janes I've ever seen. I think it's just so important to get the beautiful and very, very good character, the due that she deserves. And, you don't have to draw them as ugly potato women. You can draw them as these wonderful characters that they are. But before we start, I think we have just a little bit of promotion for everyone today. I know Stu has the wristbands, and Preston has a special opportunity for those quick on the draw. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
first, Stu, did you want this one?
What?
If you want it, I won't promote it. But all right, I'll go ahead and just let
No, I
people
just
know.
like the White Widow. That's
Okay,
my
just the White
favorite.
Widow. Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, because this one's pretty good. People like it. But
Yes.
all right, everybody, this image right here was one of only. This was an image that I made 100 copies for Guinevere 2 on a Make 100, and it sold out really fast, and everyone's been very happy with this cover. But 3 people who pledged on Kickstarter way back when, basically their credit cards failed, and they neglected to make other payment, and so I'm now releasing them, and so there's only 1 copy left, and it's Guinevere and the Divinity Factory 3 currently up on Kickstarter. So
that's a provocative, sexy, beautiful, woman-centric cover, isn't it?
it is a very woman-centric cover, and I didn't think about this, but what I later was dating around with like some artistic women. They were like, if you actually look at like the placement, it's like these are kind of the male reproductive system. You have kind of like the fallopian tubes, kind of coming down into the uterus and then coming down into the vagina. I'm like, oh, wow. I didn't. And then the hairs and stuff coming out. I'm like, oh yeah. Now that you point that out, that's wow. it's sexy both on the surface as well as subliminally. So.
This is misogynistic.
I've never heard of any of that stuff before. Can I get an explanation?
There you go. So,
I think, Preston, are you speaking from experience when you did this cover?
I mean, what? That her arms are kind of really bound?
Well, you were a little kinky back in the day.
I still am.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, so, but yeah, like initially, so this started as a White Widow cover, and I'm like, okay, I learned that the contents of White Widow 4, White Widow was going to be fighting.
I forget her name.
Yeah, Blood Widow or some other whatever. Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. It turns out, and when I actually read the comic, it wasn't a fight. Like they just introduced Blood Widow in like the last panel. I'm like, oh, well, my cover doesn't exactly make a ton of sense, but it's still cool. But I was thinking, okay, well, so Blood Widow is supposed to be like the same as White Widow in terms of powers. So you basically have 2 sexy arachnid spider ladies fighting each other.
Yes.
And what would that look like? I'm like, well, out in the wild, the way spiders fight each other is they try and tie each other up in a web. So, so my cover should involve 2 hot chicks and bondage. I'm like, okay, so that's when I proposed, kind of, taking like a straight up bondage scene and transitioning it into a superhero scene because of the spider webbing.
Preston, do you do a lot of work with Absolute?
I'm starting to.
Okay. Yeah. Can we show some people what White Widow is, what we're talking about? Because I'm sure they would love to see some of Jamie Tyndall's artwork.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
All right. Let's see. Oh,
Yeah, show your cover too for White Widow.
As long as we're doing shameless self-promotion. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Do it up.
It's as long as we're talking comics, I think it's all right. We do generally try to focus on the big two, but
yeah,
hey, as long as it's comics talk, I'm happy.
Have you ever seen White Widow, Mecca?
I never heard about it until Preston put out this very provocative cover that caught my eye, and I said,
You are missing out.
Okay.
Well, let's find out.
Listings. Active.
I mean, Jamie Tyndall is like the next Scott Campbell.
He's
pretty
good.
J. Scott Campbell is the guy that drew Amazing Spider-Man 601.
Yeah, he drew that cover.
Yep,
So,
which is a hell of a cover, and he bases most of his models on his wife.
His wife, yeah.
While Preston's doing that, Stu, you got something going on.
Yes, I have updated my wristband page, and I've added some sexy ladies as well. Yes, let me scroll down. As you can see, there's our page. You can go buy a wristband, and the first picture we did is Captain Lou Albano. You know, you don't have to use them just on your wrist, he says. So let's go down, and we got Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And, nothing stops a bullet better than one of my wristbands. Ha ha! And we'll, what?
For legal protection of this show and my channel, please don't try to block any bullets with anything.
No,
Exactly.
no. And then we got, like a virgin herself, Madonna. Don't be a wristband virgin. Testy don't preach. Get yourself one of my wristbands today. And always go to thatstarwarsguy.com. Okay.
That's right.
There's my new
right.
updated Indiegogo page.
Go check out Stu's wristbands.
Please do.
All right, now we got Preston back on the screen here.
Hey. All right, so this is my eBay store, and I do sell a lot of White Widow. So here, these are my two covers here, and you can see that they're closely related to the other one. But this was the original origin, was these spider ladies kind of fighting it out.
Tell them about the logo on the top. What it is? It's like prismatic.
Oh yeah, and it's foil lettering, so it's all red. It's red foil lettering, but behind the head.
It's not just foil. Do you remember those comic images cards we used to have back in the day, where you turn them and they were all different crackled?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly how it is.
Oh, cool. All right. So that's my White Widow cover, and then there's the virgin version of that, if you will.
They're so expensive too.
The term virgin refers to just the artwork, no trade dress.
Yeah, exactly.
You want the trade dress on these because they're beautiful.
Exactly. So here's another White Widow here, and as you can see, like they tend to be sexy, provocative covers,
and they're not cheap.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Well, what's the character about? You mentioned it was kind of like a spider thing.
Yeah, it's Spider Gwen-ish.
Yeah, she's got like a part of Venom in her a little bit too.
Yeah,
but she's not a Marvel property.
No.
She's the property of Benny Powell and Jamie Tyndall.
Nice.
So
and they've
those
been
two
kind of doing a crowdfunded thing, or are they with a smaller company?
They have been doing a crowdfunded thing. They are a small company, but Absolute is the name of the comic company. And I've started doing a fair amount of business with them because it's a great deal. Look, they taught me. I'm like, you know what? I can order their books with my awesome, artwork on it, and people think nothing of paying $25 or $30 for that. Just
I did.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, well, this is fairly profitable. I should do this more, and I should encourage other people to do that. And so that's why when I'm giving people advice, I'm like, you can get Guinevere 3 for $500. You can commission 100 of your artwork for the cover, and then you can do what I'm doing. Like you can sell, hey, here's my sexy version of Guinevere 3 for $25 or $30. So I learned that from Benny because I'm just making so much money on and doing these covers for him, and it's interesting. It's a fairly small company. I just started booking White Widow because Benny was back-to-back booths with me at last year's Dallas Fan Expo.
Look at those covers.
Yeah, I mean, look, this one is really great. This is Mike DeBalfo.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a $60 one. Wow.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And this one's just the base issue, but you can see the gold foil and stuff. But yeah, I was like, okay, fine, I'll buy a few. And at the time, I was also selling alternate comics and stuff, and like, or at least attempting to sell. And I was not able to move any alternate comics outside of Mr. Crypt. I sold the hell out of that one because kids loved Mr. Crypt, so that was cool. But White Widow, would have some generic appeal, and so you could sell like the $5 retail cover price people to some newbies or something. And so, and like if I was pitching White Lily heavy, I'm like, hey, what do you think of War Stories? And they're like, I don't really like them. I'm like, how about Hot Sexy Ladies? And they're like, what? And then I would pitch them on White Widow, and maybe I could sell them like issues 1 and 2 for $10 total sale. And that worked okay. But then there would be other times people would go, you have White Widow? Let me see what you have. Look through it and just buy like $150 worth of stuff. Just one transaction. Boom. I'm like, oh, okay, shit. I'm that.
Yeah.
She's
a moneymaker.
She is. So that's when I just started carrying all the covers Absolute had and starting to make my own because, people.
They're also branching out too. They got a bunch more titles that they just dropped on their newest Indiegogo. That was I think it funded like last year, and they just are now fulfilling everything. But there was like 10 different comics they were doing.
Wow. So and I have issue 1s of a lot of those here also in my eBay store. They just did Dual Identity. Oh, and here's White Widow 4, and this one it's really hard to show a lenticular, but Benny does lenticular covers, and I have a lenticular cover of White Lily 3 here in my eBay store, and that was something else Benny also did for me. Benny also has a print service, so that you can inquire about. Although I think it may be a little bit screwed up with the quarantine and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, that's White Widow, and I have commissioned White Widow 5, and he's coming up with a new spin-off series, I Make Boys Cry 1, which is about an all-female superhero assassin team. Well, not really superhero, but like sexy soldiers. Yeah. No, they're basically superheroes. Yeah, they have.
It ties into the whole White Widow saga because they've been using I Make Boys Cry on all their covers for White Widow. That's their tagline.
Right. And I mean, if anything, this is I hate to be an artiste, but I feel like White Widow is just jaded branding of what do men want to plunk down money on. Hot, sexy, rare. Okay, so this is Hot, Sexy, Rare, the brand, and now brand expansion into I Make Boys Cry, Hot, Sexy.
Yeah, it's cheesecake.
Yeah, it's total cheesecake.
It's kind of the cheesecake episode.
It is. So here we go.
Well, let me ask you, Preston, as somebody who's doing their own comics and stuff, what is it about creating with female characters that you find most rewarding or relatable? I guess you could say. I know you got Guinevere and that thing. What's the best thing about doing a female comic?
Like I said in regards to White Lily 3, there's a scene where Lilia gets shot down, and she just evades capture, but the guy who's running after her in an attempt to kill her trips a mine and dies, and she's sitting there next to the dead, dismembered body of this man who was just trying to kill her, and she breaks down and cries, and like the horror of the moment and the suddenness of the death and the shock. And I think the audience can understand and empathize and bond with the character in that moment, but I don't know if I could do that with a man. Like if that character were a male character and I had him break down and cry in the face of the death of a foe, would the reader reject that and go, well, that guy's a pussy, Yeah.
But we know how much you like the strong ladies, don't we, Preston?
I do like the strong ladies. Yeah.
Yes.
I sure do. You got me. What can I say?
Now you put up, I think it was a Wonder Woman cover on the pin tweet.
I did. Yeah, and that's something else I've been reading here. So Wonder Woman Dead Earth, it's part of their Black Label titles, so they can. I mean, can I see Diana nipple? I'm hoping so. Let's see. And yeah, I've really been enjoying the whole. And Harleen also by the DC Black Label stuff, and that's the guy who did Sunstone. Stefan.
Why am I here?
Oh, testify.
We're talking comics. Testify. Welcome.
Again, I'm going to have to ask, why am I here?
Why are you
That's why you wanted to talk comic books.
Yeah. Look at Preston's Wonder Woman book. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the spot UV.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do spot UV on your books, Preston?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't even know.
Vestige did.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get your copy.
Mecca, I got an issue with you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
This isn't a drama stream.
It's not.
Who said that?
I
Ebony
said
Midnight. He's an emo.
Life is killing me.
You know what? Can we kick Ebony Midnight? I know who that is.
No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to go Ebony Midnight.
No.
Mecca, where is the stream? Why are you censoring streams?
Oh, it's being processed still.
Oh,
no,
it is?
you edited it.
Yeah.
That was the stream me and Preston were on.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Testify on another. This is just comics today. I'll talk to him another time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so Wonder Woman Dead Earth, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that storyline about?
It's Wonder Woman post-nuclear apocalypse. So
It's like an Elseworlds or alternate universe or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I look for, and that seems to be like Black Label kind of seems to be spinning their universes free. An idea that I had that I was kind of working with, and that suddenly got disrupted recently, but that's total different issue.
Yes. That's beautiful. Becca, if you want to pull up my screen before I go, because I have to be on another stream shortly. But speaking of Wonder Woman, look at Gal Gadot as she's wearing her wristbands. Speaking of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Gal Gadot so much.
You know what I'm mad about? I'm not going to see her on the big screen because all the theaters are closed.
I know, isn't that something?
I'm mad about that too.
Yes. Do you think they're going to put Wonder Woman 84 on VOD?
Ooh, that's already been delayed so many times. I wonder if they're just ready to make a profit on it.
What is your thoughts, Preston?
What was the question?
If they're going to put Wonder Woman 84 on VOD before the theater?
I don't know, but I want to see that movie. So
yes,
I hope so.
Just release it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
they'll
think
do a
it really-
Snyder cut of it.
the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I just want to
Wonder
thank.
Woman?
Oh yes. No,
Yeah.
the other one, the Scott Snyder
Very
Justice
cool.
League. So everybody, go buy a wristband. We're only got 26 days left. Once the campaign's over, it's over. We're not extending it. It's going to close. So thank you, Preston, for having me. Thank you, Mecca, for doing the stream today.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I got to leave so soon, but Critical Blast is coming on, and I got to be on there to shield my wristbands.
All right. See you later, Stu.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, Pickles. All right.
Trying
I'm
to
having
backstage me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Pickles, can you share screen?
Sure.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
let
having
me see.
technical difficulties. If I try to share my screen, it just kicks me out for some reason. So it's weird. Yeah, let's keep going.
So did you like learning about? And there was a question from the chat. Is the
Oh, yeah.
story any good? I'm going to be honest. I haven't read the story. I sell a lot of them. once a guy walked up to me at a comic book show and asked me that exact question: "What's this character's story?" And like, look, I was. You work a while, and I'm there to pitch my stuff. I'm there to pitch White Lily. I'm not there to pitch somebody else's stuff. As far as I'm concerned, forgive me for being reductive and dismissive, but I'm like, that's the TNA books. If you like Cheesecake TNA, then go for it. And he's like, what's the story? I'm like, you see what's on the cover? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's the story. And he's like, so it's a sexy spider lady and not much else. I'm like, precisely. And then he goes, I'll take it. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, for the people who buy it, the story doesn't seem to exactly matter. But look, I'm going to tell you what the story is. The story is, let's introduce a whole universe, because Benny wants to be publishing an empire of titles. He wants to create IPs and then get artistic teams to work and publish them and monetize the different covers as much as possible. That's the whole business model. So and White Widow is the current hit. So the White Widow story is just introducing character after character after character that, is kind of like, oh, hey, and now I'm going to meet these 4 ninja assassin team. Oh, they just got spun off in I Make Boys Cry. And oh, here's Blood Widow. And oh, here's one of the other characters that she met up with in 4 is spun off into her own title called like Dual Identity or something like that. So the story isn't exactly narratively coherent. There's not a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's instead more like a role-playing game where you open a door and then, oh, hey, there's new characters and a little mini adventure, and then you open another door and here's new characters and little mini adventure. So it's White Widow is really very universe expandy right now.
Very cool. But Pickles, every time you come on the show, you bring me some kind of Hulk comic. And today, with the most feminine, the most graceful episode we could pull off, you bring me Hulk again.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I have brought you Betty Ross, and she is currently a harpy right now.
What the hell is that? She looks like the White Widow cover.
Originally, she was Red She-Hulk, if you know who that was.
Well, I know Red Hulk, and that was kind of an interesting thing in the Hulk comics for a while.
Well, Betty Ross became Red She-Hulk at one time. And basically, it made things complicated between her and the Hulk. But you've got to think of Betty Ross as a character in herself. Originally she was quite the Gwen Stacy, just their kind of female in comics. She wasn't really. No one really noticed her until I guess a couple of decades ago, where they tried to develop her character, where she basically tried to calm the Hulk down in certain aspects. She still loved Bruce, even though he was a monster. Then you fast forward to when she was quote unquote killed, where in fact she was actually taken by MODOK and experimented on. And I think they used Red Hulk's blood on her, and she became Red She-Hulk. I can't really remember. And obviously, I think they controlled her as well. And basically, she became Red She-Hulk. She fought Red Hulk. She fought the Incredible Hulk because she had so much hatred towards the Hulk, really, for ruining her life with Bruce. But that kind of went away, and she became more accepting of the Hulk and Bruce. And then you fast forward now, and she looks like a hideous monster because basically she got shot in the head in Immortal Hulk. And because of her gamma radiation, it transformed her into this. Because if you've been infected with gamma radiation, you can't truly die, which has been established in Immortal Hulk. And what we have here is Bruce. I'll explain why he's dressed like that.
By the way, I have to jump off. There's something I got to take care of. But
okay, come back in camp.
Come on, take care.
See,
Right now, Bruce Banner is actually being controlled by Joe Fixit. So
Which
that's
is like the smart Hulk, but not necessarily the most
it's
powerful.
the Grey Hulk, the
Ah.
more mob boss kind of Hulk, and that's why he's wearing that clothing. The Grey Hulk doesn't come out, but he takes control of Bruce Banner's body. So that kind of explains why he's in a suit really, and he lets Bruce talk to Betty, and Bruce can't accept Betty Russ as who she is. Basically, so it's kind of like a contradiction. She set aside her feelings of the Hulk and wanted to be with Bruce no matter what, but Bruce can't really accept her for what she's become. So it's kind of hypocritical of Bruce, really. And I think the last panel kind of shows that. In fact, he's realized, he's a hypocrite, really.
That right, man. And so it's still gamma radiation, still Hulk-like, but for some reason she's a succubus now.
Yeah, pretty much. She has, talons and stuff like that. She's basically a harpy.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. I like when they get creative with the Hulk stuff. For a while there, it seemed like we were getting Skittles Hulk series with starting with the Red Hulk, and I think there was even in one of the Greg Pak runs, there was even like a joke that there was like a watermelon Hulk, pink Hulk, that purple Hulk, that kind of thing.
Well, in Greg Pak's run as well, all the Avengers got infected with gamma radiation and became Hulks. You had a Thor Hulk where he was just like blue and just, tried fighting everyone. And as well, Amadeus Cho became a Hulk in that as well, if you would believe that. But he was just like a giant brain.
Well, Amadeus Cho was kind of the Gogurt Hulk that your boy Zach talked about for a while, but he was kind of smart, had like a greased up hairdo for some reason.
Amadeus Cho in All New All Different Marvel kind of stole Bruce Banner's radiation and became the Hulk himself, but with Amadeus taking control. But that was an absolute shit show. I don't like to talk about Amadeus Cho.
Well, I remember when the All New All Different thing happened. One of the things that came out with when I heard that Amadeus Cho was taking over the gamma radiation powers was like he had a pet fox for some reason. Like why does this character have a pet fox?
I don't know. Probably tried to get a cute side character in there so people will read it.
I don't know if it even stuck with him.
I don't think so.
Bobby Dank, I'm not sure if you're sarcastic or not, but yeah, the character on the screen, if it is the right screen, do you also see Bruce Banner, Bobby Dank? Because this harpy look is definitely similar to the White Widow thing. But anyway, so what was your take on the Red Hulk thing going forward? Do you think this is a good direction to take all that to the logical conclusion of Betty Banner, Betty, what's her name? Betty
Ross.
Betty Ross, the son of
daughter of
General Thaddeus Ross.
Yeah.
Which was the Red Hulk for a while, and that was kind of like a mystery. But do you think there's a logical conclusion for this?
I guess so. Because currently there's actually no Red Hulk. Because Doc Green, which was another persona of the Hulk, cured Thunderbolt Ross, and then I guess his military friend, I forget what he's like called Tolbolt or something like that. He became Red Hulk, but then during the Avengers No Surrender storyline, Bruce Banner came back to life as the Immortal Hulk, and when he came in, he basically ruined the Avengers. Kicked their ass. And he basically grabbed this new Red Hulk and drained him of his radiation as well. Which is kind of ironic because Thunderbolt Ross did that to Bruce Banner a while back when he was Red Hulk. So yeah, there's no Red Hulk right now. And when Betty Ross got shot in the head and she started transforming, you thought that she was going to become Red She-Hulk again, but then they kind of threw this curveball and she became a Harpy instead.
Oh, I see. Is this the latest appearance of her?
Yes, this is the latest book. It's issue 35. Came out last week. And there's 15 issues left until it ends, basically.
And Betty Ross has become something of a central figure in it then.
Yeah, because they basically brought back Rick Jones because he got killed in Secret Empire. But it's not Rick Jones, technically. It's basically the leader has taken possession of Rick Jones's body. They brought back the Abomination, which was actually Rick Jones's body. But I think that the Immortal Hulk killed that one. Then they brought back Betty Ross, and she got shot in the head, and now she's a Harpy.
Now she's a Harpy.
So now I'm hoping they bring back Scar. I don't know if you know who Scar is.
Isn't he the Hulk's son?
Yeah. Because the last we saw of him was during Mark Waid's run of the Doc Green storyline, and he basically cured Scar of being the Hulk and just ditched him with a bag of money in Paris. And that's the last we saw of him.
And now he's back.
Well, I'm hoping he comes back.
Could be.
There's 15 issues to bring him back.
Where do you think they're going to go with all this after that's done? I think Immortal Hulk's been one of the most interesting series to come on in a long time.
Yeah, Venom and Immortal Hulk are the big Marvel books right now. In the Venom book, they brought back the Ultimate Universe.
What?
Well, they brought back the Ultimate Universe in the Ultimate Squared, but in Venom, they've actually gone to the Ultimate Universe.
Really?
Yeah. And the Maker even is in possession of the Ultimate Universe Venom.
And this is in Ultimate Hulk?
That's that was in Venom. During Immortal Hulk, like I said, there's 15 issues left. I expect them to explore the leader a bit more. It seems like they're trying to make him into a bit of a Brainiac kind of character. We'll see what that one goes, but I think it's going to conclude basically with maybe Bruce Banner's dad coming back to life. Yeah, so that's going to be that would be weird.
Pretty cool too.
I have a question for my pickles, if I may.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you thought of Liv Tyler's portrayal of Betty Ross.
Which
in
one?
The 2008 film.
2008.
Yeah, My Incredible Hulk with.
She was just there, really. That's the thing with Betty Ross. A lot of incarnations of her, she's just there as a love interest, basically, where she's just there to stop the Hulk from rampaging.
Very true. In fact, I guess there's a She-Hulk show in development for Disney Plus, but
yeah, that's the Jennifer Walters one.
What do you think about that?
I think it would probably be terrible.
Agreed.
Yeah, depending on the actress, if they get like Rosario Dawson or something, that's not going to be as cool.
Well, the Hulk's going to be in it as well with a robot arm, so it's really not got my interest.
The Hulk's going to be in it with a robo arm?
Yeah.
With Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
Mecha McBanner?
I don't know, because the MCU have got Hulk wrong terribly.
Yeah.
The Hulk could easily, you know, regrow his arm for the one fight he lost in Endgame. You know, I just don't understand the direction they've gone with him, and they've turned him into an absolute loser as well. It's basically Matt Ruffalo. It's basically Bruce Banner Hulk. You know, he's just a complete nerd.
They should have made him the Gray Hulk.
Yeah, and they chickened out.
I mean, that's basically what it is. Of intelligent version of the Hulk. That was the Gray Hulk.
Yeah, he was meant to be in Age of Ultron, but they cut it out because it was too long.
I want to see a Fantastic Four where they use the Fantastic Four team of Hulk, Gray Hulk, Spidey, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider.
That would be awesome.
So, what was that?
For the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, back in there was a storyline where the Fantastic Four seemed to either be killed or really damaged, and so Wolverine, the Hulk, the Gray Hulk, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider took over for a couple issues.
I thought it was She-Hulk.
No, it was Gray Hulk.
Was it? All right.
It was like issue 348 or something of the Fantastic Four. I'll look it up.
You'll have to send me that so I can give it a read.
Yeah. Pickles, if you don't mind, continue down the pinned tweet I got. Got some, the RQ has some really good She-Hulk art now that we're on the subject.
Let me, I need to sort some out.
Speaking of She-Hulk, what do you guys make of that 2014 quote by David Goyer where he was slamming She-Hulk as some sort of extension of male power fantasy, giant green porn star, blah, blah, blah?
Well, that's an interesting thing to talk about because She-Hulk, as she is now, is kind of a devastated character. She's not very cool anymore. And she's just they're trying to basically just replace the Hulk with her, which is not what she should be. She was strong, yes, but she was also still a lawyer, still sexy, if you like the muscle-bound women look, but she never lost her femininity. And what we had at the with the current She-Hulk is just this crazy, vicious beast of a woman with not a touch of femininity to her. So it's kind of funny when you think about the SJW politics in comics these days, where they want women in comics, but they don't really want women in comics. They want to replace men. They just want to kick men out. And that's why you end up with such a bloated and muscular She-Hulk that we have now. But let's see here. Yeah, scroll down. Look for the RQ because he posted a Muscle Beach shot that I want to talk about. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, so this see what I'm talking about. She's obviously muscular, but she's still extraordinarily feminine as well. She's still sexy. She's got all the strength that she could want, and you know, it's an idealized woman, of course, and I think she's kind of like the best of what both worlds really want. We want strong and powerful women characters, but we also want them to be feminine and woman, which that character obviously is. And this is the classic. Yeah, this is the classic Muscle Beach kind of scene you'd expect in California. They have something called Muscle Beach. It looks like Jay. I can't remember his name. The bodybuilder over there. What's his name? Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler. Kind of looks like he's over there. Looks like they got Franco Colombo back there. You know, there's a woman in the yellow. Obviously sexy. But yeah, She-Hulk was always sexy. She was always strong. And she wasn't a replacement for the Hulk. She was her own character. So when they tried to make her this like super Hulk-like thing, they kind of missed the point of the character. She was her own thing. She was just a clone of the Hulk.
The She-Hulk's always been a sex appeal character.
Yeah.
Whereas when Betty Ross became Red She-Hulk, she became a sexy character, but also a badass as well.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find some of the current She-Hulk madness.
I think they've changed her back a little bit in Empire.
Did they?
I think so.
It must have been like last month at the very earliest, because I think I did see a panel where they tried that.
This was a Red She-Hulk.
Ah, look at that.
So that's Betty Ross.
That is Betty Ross. And she had just kicked the crap out of Red Hulk.
I'm gonna post a reply real quick. Hang on. There we go.
She-Hulk is like my third favorite female comic book character.
Is that because of the sex appeal or character? Or both?
Both, actually.
What are your
April
favorite?
O'Neil is the sex appeal. April and MJ. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
for like the characters, it's She-Hulk and the black suit Spider-Woman from the West Coast Avengers.
Hell yeah. So I just added some more. But yeah, she's cool. She's got the, you can still be a strong woman and not lose all your femininity. I don't think there's any woman in the world that would want to look like what the She-Hulk has been,
You should have
Oh,
seen
that She-Hulk is ugly.
You should have seen the She-Hulk in Immortal Hulk.
Uh-oh. I'm going to look it up right now.
She was drawn like the Hulk, basically, because the artist on Immortal Hulk does his art style was kind of intentionally ugly, where they do the body horror, basically.
I think I found it. Let me, I replied to the RQ if you want to pull that up, Pickles.
To the RQ.
Yeah, it's right underneath the bodybuilding picture. Yeah, just scroll down to my replies on that.
I first learned about She-Hulk in the 1990s animated Hulk television series. She was Bruce Banner's cousin. Is that accurate to the
Yes.
origin?
She was in an accident, and they infused her with some of Bruce Banner's blood, and that's how she became She-Hulk.
Yeah, so pull that one up, full screen, Pickles. So She-Hulk at that point had been like, this is how they've been drawing her for a couple years now. Just zero femininity, Hulk with a chest slit for the breasts.
I just saw a recent one where she was terrible art, at least.
The reason why she looks like that is because Bruce had died in Civil War II, and she was suffering from depression from losing her cousin, and also PTSD because she got her ass kicked by Thanos. So Bruce Banner came back, Thanos was stopped, everything's fine. So I don't know why she stayed like this.
I think it was the SJW politics. And I hate talking that kind of stuff in the SpinnerRack here, but for this character, it's kind of important to. Oh, here's one that proves my point. I'm gonna put it in the right underneath that. So I'm gonna reply to. This would go a lot smoother if I was control. Yeah, so that's the Immortal Hulk, She-Hulk, right? The one you're talking about.
Which is funny because in an issue of the Avengers, you could tell Jason Aaron was kind of putting his SJW thoughts into it, because obviously we don't have to talk about it, but basically he had Doctor Strange tell She-Hulk she was stronger than Bruce Banner, his Hulk. Next issue of Immortal Hulk, the Hulk fights the Avengers. He basically knocks She-Hulk out in one punch.
Was it the same writer?
Yeah. No. It was Al Ewing that wrote Immortal Hulk. It's Jason Aaron that wrote Avengers.
And then she knocks him out in Al Ewing's.
No, he knocks her out.
Yeah. So kind of like, yeah.
So they had to actually stop him. The Avengers had to use a Celestial to basically knock him out, and that's where he got cut up into little pieces and put into jam jars.
Yeah. Well, that was also shoot. What was it? He also gave he gave Thor a concussion in that fight, I think.
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because
he whooped them all.
yeah, like literally, Thor was like, I don't know where I'm at. You know, I don't know why it hurts so much right now. Go to the reply to that one, Pickles. Keep going down, or click to the reply on that one. Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah, that's
I think what was the reasoning behind how they were drawing She-Hulk for years. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I was talking about. It's disgusting.
That looks like something I'd leave in the toilet.
Right.
That looks like somebody like took a dump in a toothpaste tube and squeezed it in there.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
It's a good model for Abomination.
I don't know. I hate that art style. I don't know why they're destroying the femininity of the character. The anatomy is just. It looks like Andrew Huerta was hungover and was angry about something and drew this or something. It's no offense to Andrew Huerta, but this is just awful. This person should be doing graffiti or something instead. Like her bicep is like literally bigger than 40% of her body.
It's just somebody who doesn't know how to draw drew it.
Yeah, women are talking.
Yeah.
Get this off the screen, Pickles. For the love of God. Go to the good-looking She-Hulk. Yeah, there we go. Which way, Western man? See, the other picture I replied to where it's like her front-facing shot? I don't know if you can pull that one up, too.
What was that?
Yeah, that one. See, that's still a powerful-looking She-Hulk, but she's a woman. She's getting bullets bounced off her. Why can't we have that? That's cute.
Yeah, that's your ideal She-Hulk.
Yeah, Sovereign. Looks like someone tried to tell artists how to draw. Yeah. See, I would be very interested in a She-Hulk series that looked like that. So, but you were saying that the character kind of got back to it.
Yeah, an Empire, not fully back to it, obviously, but less ugly, I guess. But we'll see.
Yeah. Ebony Midnight, first time on the show. What did you bring for show and tell today?
I didn't know I was supposed to bring anything.
Oh, you don't have to. Well, let's see what else we got in the thread, Pickles. Well, since I'm feeling talkative right now, can you pull up the Point Man was supposed to be in here. I don't know where he is. I sent him a link.
Power Girl.
Yeah, let's talk about Power Girl for a second. So my understanding of Power Girl is that she's Kal-El's cousin from a different dimension, and the boob window, as we see, was put there by the artist, and it kind of became a joke to see how much they could enlarge it and get away with it.
That's my perception of Power Girl. I'm not a huge DC expert, so I'm not really too knowledgeable about Power Girl. All I know is that she's Kal-El's cousin.
I just like looking at Power Girl. She's she's really popular with cosplayers.
Yeah, I imagine so.
I'm gonna add some more artwork.
We don't have Point Man here to talk about it.
Well, he had the link and he was excited about it. DM'd me all day, and then time comes for the show, and this dude's just like, let me. It's gonna go right in below there.
It's a shame the RQ isn't here to talk about this either.
Who?
The RQ.
Yeah,
one
he's
that's
in the
posted
chat.
this stuff.
Let's look at what else the RQ brought. He always puts stuff in the chat, but he never wants to come on. So hopefully one day he does. I'd love to have you, RQ.
But let's see what is submitted though. We have one where Mary Jane became Red Sonja.
That was cool. All right, call me biased, but I think Mary Jane is pretty much the first woman of comics.
In what way?
In that she's kind of like, when you think of good-looking comic book characters, or at least women, the first one you're going to go to, the ambassador for how a comic book woman should be, is Mary Jane. She supported Peter through how much, she's always been drawn the best, face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot.
Well, she was confident in herself.
Yeah.
But they kind of changed that in One More Day.
Right, which is a disaster.
Yeah, because was it that Aunt May got shot? So Peter and Mary Jane made a deal with Mephisto.
Yeah.
To save her life and let everybody forget that Spider-Man's Peter Parker in exchange for his marriage.
Yeah. Which pretty much unanimously was regarded as a bad decision.
Everyone hates it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think currently, right now, during Nick Spencer's run, he's brought them back together. So they're kind of rectifying that.
Well, I hope so. The last big Spider-Man arc I went through was the Superior Spider-Man, which Doc Ock took over Peter's body. And I went through that because obviously it was kind of a controversial one, and I just had it available to me. So I read through it. And at the end of it, Mary Jane was like, yeah, I get it wasn't you during all that horrible stuff, but the way your life is, I just can't be a part of it anymore. It's just too crazy. I don't want to date somebody that's going to have their body taken over by an old man, And then she's like, she starts dating a firefighter or something. So I don't like it.
It's basically, they changed it up with Peter and Mary Jane. Because when you think comic couples, you think Peter Parker and Mary Jane together, Superman and Lois Lane, Hulk and Betty Ross, those are, who you think of as comic couples. And obviously they tried changing that. They had Peter go after Silk and Black Cat and stuff like that. And no one was really truly a fan of it. So I'm glad they've brought their relation back.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty much no one liked One More Day, and I guess they wanted to keep Spider-Man fresh, but really, I think.
Well, they wanted to keep him young.
Yeah,
and him being married with kids wouldn't appeal to the younger generation.
Right. But it's a shame because Mary Jane's been such a, like I said, the first woman of comics. I can't think of a really an answer from DC to Mary Jane. Yeah, I like Power Girl. I put up some Power Girl artwork on the Power Girl thread. Look through that if you wouldn't mind. I want to get back to the Boo Boo show. Yeah, click on that one.
Kirsten Dunst does justice to Mary Jane.
Absolutely not, but almost. Keep going.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna have a look at that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, this is the one she, in her own words, I guess, about the boob window. Does somebody want to read that? Richard Troll, perhaps?
I would love to read.
We'll go on.
Well, the problem is that... Okay, there we go. I can't see the screen, it's too small. The letters.
Hang on.
Oh, man.
How about that?
There we go. Perfect. People always ask me why I have the hole right here. They think I'm showing off or just being lewd. But the first time I made this costume, I wanted to have a symbol like you. I couldn't think of anything. I thought eventually I'd figure it out and close the hole. But I haven't.
Well, ain't that touching?
Certainly is.
A little bit of character development there. I think what she's referring to is she didn't want the Superman S on her chest. She felt like she wasn't worthy of it.
I think Supergirl. It's hard to because Supergirl is power. Her, and I think it's said that Supergirl is actually stronger than Superman.
Right, because that every woman has to be powerful than the male characters.
Even though, if you go off Kryptonians, they should have an equal amount of solar energy, but if you go by Earth's rules, then a man's going to be naturally stronger than a woman. So a Kryptonian man should be naturally stronger than a Kryptonian woman. Therefore, right. Superman should be stronger.
I really hate that new Supergirl TV show. I tried to watch an episode on Netflix last night. It's terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. The first season was okay.
Have you seen that Stargirl show?
No, I heard about it, but
it's pretty decent in my opinion.
I'll have to check that out. It's on
CW.
DC Universe. CW.
No, it's on CW, and it's not soap opera like every other CW DC show. I actually like this one.
I will watch it.
I don't tend to like superhero shows. I couldn't get into Arrow and I couldn't get into The Flash, and I kind of gave up after that. I did like Daredevil though.
Yeah, Daredevil was really good actually. Yeah, if you want to show the other Power Girls nachos.
Which one would you like to see?
Any of them. Let's just scroll through what we got here. I think that's Alex Ross, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like
an Alex Ross painting.
Yeah, I love the bob hairstyle and the physique's on point. Strong.
A very intimidating, but I guess beautiful pose.
Yeah, definitely.
Then we have
that's a good one too.
By Tyler Kirkham. Let's see.
So she's older, different universe before the crisis.
All right, so we have the Enchantress.
Who put this in there?
HG.
HG.
He's a mod.
Yeah. HG.
It's a shame he's not here.
Yeah. What I know of Enchantress I first became aware of her from, I think it was the Injustice games, and then she showed up in the Suicide Squad movie, in which her role in the movie was to dance around while
This is the Marvel Enchantress.
Yeah,
this is Loki's lackey Enchantress.
Yeah,
she's an Asgardian sorceress.
The one from the Suicide Squad was made up for the movie.
Was she?
Yeah.
This almost looks like Rob Liefeld art or something, or Jim Lee.
Kind of.
I wonder who is the artist on this. Oh, there's Thor throughout the rest of the page. Silly me.
I mean, Thor's in the first panel. But
well, yeah, I just went to the nice figure. It almost looks like they edited out the breasts or something.
But yeah, obviously, my knowledge of the sorceress only comes from the Avengers cartoon are smartest heroes.
Thor says, I was brained with a sword hilt, Enchantress. I presume that all my recent troubles can be laid at your door. Often they say they've been brained.
I think from the Avengers cartoon, what I gathered from the Enchantress is that she's evil, but she wants Thor to love her.
Really?
People more knowledgeable than me can probably answer that.
Yeah. Enchantress. She does look like Loki. I think Loki was a woman in the comics for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
think for a little
reborn as a
bit.
woman. Because was it after Sentry killed him? He either became a woman or he became a child.
Yeah, because he's the trickster, you know, he can change forms and all that.
I don't know if you ever saw Reign, the Marvel event, where Norman Osborn basically has control of the Sentry and like lets him loose.
Secret Empire?
No, it was Reign.
Oh, Rain, that's right, Dark Rain.
No, it was Siege.
Siege.
Sorry, Siege.
And the siege was broken.
Yeah, I think. Did he rip? Was it Ares that he ripped in half?
Yeah. Yeah, the God of War.
Yeah, that was awesome. Then Thor killed him and threw his body into the sun.
As you should do with pretty much everybody that pisses you off.
Because I believe Sentry at that point was turning into the Void. So he would have literally would have killed everyone. Yeah, the Void is like an alternate personality of the Sentry, because the Sentry is insane. And when he becomes the Void, he turns black and he gets tendrils and stuff like that.
Yeah, and recently, I think it was Jeff Lemire had a run in 2018. I think it was a 5-issue run, maybe 6. And at the end of that, Sentry and the Void became one.
Yeah, and he became like a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he went from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 4 with the red color scheme and the black hair.
Yeah, he didn't. Everett said he didn't turn into a girl. It was like because
he
how
took
would you
over
explain
his
it?
body, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. All right, it's on screen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now they left that for Thor and Jane Foster, which I do not care for the Jane Foster Thor, though I do like Jason Aaron's run a whole hell of a lot.
Was it the Ragnarok event where Thor had like he ripped his eye out, or he had a crow eat his eye, something like that? Something metal.
Yeah, because that's how it goes in the Norse mythology, I think.
It was so because I don't know. I have to read the Ragnarok event again.
Yeah, I just tagged you in a post.
Tagged me in a post.
Yeah, check your notes, notifications. Yeah, there you go. Click that one.
This very famous
This
page.
Like I said, the first woman in comics. She's always been beautiful. Peter's always been lucky to have her.
Did you know that Jessica Jones has a crush on Peter?
Yeah. I remember hearing about that. And then she tells Luke Cage about it.
Yeah.
Or I think she tells Peter that in front of Luke Cage, and he's like getting steamed up about it.
I wish he would have said like "Sweet Christmas" though in response.
Sweet Christmas.
But because Gwen Stacy didn't really have a personality, and then he decided to introduce Mary. Well, Mary Jane was involved before Gwen Stacy died, but Mary Jane had an actual character. Should I say personality? Obviously, I'm not going to pretend that I know a whole bunch about Spider-Man, because that's not my Spider-Man Mary Jane. I'm not going to pretend that I'm that I'm a Wikipedia or anything. So I kind of rely on what people are saying in the chat.
Yeah. Well, guys, there's some stuff going on that I have to get to, but this has been the cheesecake swimsuit issue of the SpinnerRack, and due to technical difficulties, probably didn't go as smooth as I'd like. But had some things going on. I couldn't start the show on time. But it's been wonderful to talk some comics with you guys. Yeah. Any parting words from the panel, which steadily shrunk as we went along?
Just read comic books. Read what you like.
Indeed. I did find that Fantastic Four that I was talking about.
Oh, let's pull that up.
I can show it on my screen real quick.
Yeah, sure.
If I can figure out how to do screen share. Can you see it?
Yes. Let me pull it up right now.
I can't see it. There we go. Issue number 348.
Issue 348.
Point man.
Oh, I think we were about to end the stream.
Wow. And check this out. Arthur Adams and Art Thibault were working on the... Art Thibault did the inks. Arthur Adams did the pencil.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that ain't something.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
He did that Gorilla comic. Can't remember the name of it, though.
Gorilla Galaxy?
No. The other one with the red head. You should look that up. What was the name of it? I'm going to type it up real quick.
So, Pipeman, what can you tell us about Power Girl?
Yeah, we were about to end the show, but since you got here, you want to share your screen? Talk to us about the Power Girl stuff you left us?
Oh, yeah. Mostly I started reading it from the Amanda Connor, 12-issue maxi series. Basically, I just kind of like how they kind of took the character, made her very energetic or whatever, and kind of fun, but also like the best arc is how she was dealing with a guy that wanted to try to get with her. I think his name was Bartox, who was a Superman villain that appeared earlier that was trying to seduce Lois Lane from Superman, I think. I can't talk much now, but basically he unleashed this killer monster. It was pretty hilarious because she was just like, "What were you thinking unleashing it?" And they basically had to deal with that. I don't know. I'm just so out of it right now. I just popped in at the wrong time. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I wish you would have got here earlier, but hey, things happen. We had a pretty cool discussion on some fabulous ladies.
You know who we forgot to talk about? And I'm not even going to say we should start talking about any more fabulous ladies, but Faith.
Huh. Who's Faith?
Is that overweight one?
Yes, Faith is the fat floaty chick.
Oh, goodness.
Her superpower is floating.
Floating?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh.
I'm surprised no one ever brought up Electra or anything.
Which
I
one
don't like Electra.
Which one is RQ talking about? Faith or Power Girl?
Probably Power Girl. I don't know anybody who's ever bought an issue of Faith.
They're out there.
Yeah.
There's a secret comic community.
All 5 of them.
They all have special
All 5
decoder
of them.
rings. They all have special decoder rings and can summon Captain Outrage.
They read Faith while eating cheesecake.
Yeah, I know. It's like sometimes it's like certain body types can work in fiction, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever read Discworld?
No.
Well, read Discworld. Like certain body types. So basically, this one, there's this one called Monsters Regiment. I'll just sum it up. Basically, it's about women disguising themselves as male soldiers, and each one had like different reasons for going to war. One was looking for her baby daddy. The other ones were looking for the guy that abused both of them in the orphanage when they broke out of it. One was a vampire that craved coffee and someone stole it. I'm like, I relate to this character on a spiritual level. You don't steal someone's coffee. You choose war. And one of them would look, yeah.
You get shot for that.
Yeah. And basically basically it was kind of like, it basically just depends on how you like write the character. But if you're just trying to go for a heroic character that looks like Blubberman or like Fat Man and Blubber Boy or whatever, it's like it's always going to be comical because it's like, it's a fat guy, he falls down, tuba's playing. Now it's like there's nothing wrong with it. It just comes off as comedic. You can't pull off like it's very heroic because it's like you'll take up like half the panel on a full page spread, or even have to get a 2-page spread to display her fully. I know I'm not as popular as all the other comic creators out there, but I know I can feel I'm gonna get canceled for just saying this. And people in the future who are scouring outrage material is gonna find this one day. Hopefully not after the wreckage of WW3. That hopefully never happens because WW4 still needs to happen. And 5 and 6, 7, that's when we're going to hit Terminator territory.
Damn, Skippy.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not Terminator Genesis territory.
Yeah, it's just
No, it's going to be Salvation.
Like I've noticed how certain female characters are like written and displayed in like comics or whatever. Sometimes they have to have certain roles that actually work with them. It's like, but you can't just throw them into like this is the heroic role of them. It's like it kind of doesn't work that way because it's like I don't know, like my family was watching that movie Brave or something like that or whatever, and it's like something about it was just really off. Nothing bad about it. It's just character seemed way too much of a loner, and I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie.
I think I've seen part of it.
And it's basically about the mother gets turned into a bear. It's kind of like Brother Bear, but in Ireland.
Mother Bear.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for everyone being here, and we'll see you next week for issue number 7, which will be